graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to the Everett Lee Show, a shot of entertainment to the head. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the entertainment.
Welcome to the Everett Lee Show podcast, ELS. Welcome to the special Best of 2017 edition. I'm Everett Lee. Quick shout out to everyone that follows me on Twitter. You can follow me at the Everett_Lee, Facebook.com/the Everett Lee. Click that like button and notification button. Also, the official website of the Everett Lee Show, everettleeshow.weebly.com, the official website of ELS. Well, the holiday season is approaching, and it looks like just here in a couple weeks, Christmas. I'm not the Christmas-y type person, but I will say this. For those that do celebrate the holidays, love the holidays, here at ELS, the Everett Lee Show, want to wish you a happy and safe holiday season. Happy New Year, or Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. If I didn't mention it already, I'm going to mention it. Well, it's been a crazy, exciting couple weeks. Last week, this past Monday, announced the lineup for the Podcast City Network, which is freaking awesome because for the fact of the matter is we got like 6 shows that's going to be featured on the Podcast City Network. This show right here, the Everett Lee Show, the flagship show of the Podcast City Network, will be featured on the Podcast City Network, followed by ELS Uncut, which is a raw, uncut podcast of ELS. Anything goes. More F-bombs will be dropped than what you can expect. And also, Podcast City exclusive films of classic, which will be coming off the Patreon exclusive out for the first time. Already got a couple of episodes in the bag for that will be released. Episode 1, Maximum Overdrive. Me and McShaft cover that movie. And with Episode 2, covering the 1984 Blade Runner. Also joining up the lineup of the Podcast City Network, which will be released in January of 2018. We have 3 shows joining the network, which will be the Super Radio Brothers podcast. Mark, Rich, and Ben will be bringing you pop culture, comic book news, and TV shows related to comic book type stuff. Good podcast. Love these guys. They do a hell of a job. They knock it out of the park each week, bringing a variety of different perspectives on topics on what they cover. And also, Chris Carnage Show, which will feature sports, statistics, anything happening going on in sports, talking about fantasy football, fantasy draft leagues, and etc. Expect guest interviews, too, with people in sports on the podcast, the Chris Carnage Show. And finally, rounding out the Podcast City Network lineup, we have the Imaginarium podcast with Scott Colbert, Todd Staruch, the horror nerd, along with Kyle Holton from the, I believe it's the Mad At or Pissed Off segment on the Scott Colbert YouTube channel. But that podcast is straight shooting. They review and talk about anything going on in the news, with a lot of things that's going on happening in the news, if you know what's going on. Also, they talk about, in the last episode, they talked about the one that he just released about the Justice League movie, which is really insightful and funny on their take on what they thought about the movie. If you haven't seen it yet, I wouldn't listen to it, though. But if you have, then you'll hear their take on what they liked and what they didn't like about the movie. But straightforward talk, not giving a damn, just give their opinion about stuff, and that's the bottom line on that. So there you have it, the Podcast City Network lineup for 2018. I'm excited. Gonna throw in some recordings here and there, getting some stuff lined up and ready to be released. Having this content coming out is just great, and everyone that's involved in releasing content and putting it out there for fans and listeners that enjoy podcast, the Podcast City Network will be for you, and I cannot stress that enough. So therefore, it's a network you want to check out. It's going to be unlike any other network that you've seen coming from podcast, which is going to be great. And as time comes on, time gets closer to 2018 in January, we'll have a release date when that network will launch. A date will be set. So keep updated on the everettleeshow.weebly.com website, and also check out the Facebook page, facebook.com/theeverlee for the latest updates and so forth. I'm just so excited about this stuff, man. It's just, I'm really happy. This is like my Christmas, revealing this network and everything. But I'm going to move on and briefly say, what a hell of a year, man, for 2017 for the Everett Lee Show. Wow. From episode 34 to last week's episode 67, a lot of stuff has happened in this year of 2017. A lot of guests have come on. We had Staunch Ambition comic book creator Brian E. Lau come on. We've had the Central Florida Warriors come on, rugby team, talking about what's going on with that. We had wrestlers, man. We had Johnny Knockout, JKO. Shout out to him. We also had Sean Phoenix, independent wrestler Sean Phoenix, coming on a couple times. We've had Seven Kingdoms, man. I think we've had everybody from that band just about on this year for the Everett Lee Show podcast, Seven Kingdoms. Shout out to them guys. I know they had a event last night in Daytona, which I wasn't able to make, but McShaft did, Chris Carnage did. Just hearing little tidbits about everything here going on. They had a hell of a time. I wish I could go, but I was not able to make it. But at least they went out there and represented Everett Lee and ELS. So shout out to you guys. Also, who else did we have? We had Adolescent Theory come on, man. That was a freaking awesome podcast. We had Thomas Ryan and Todd Storich come on, talk about their indie film project that was going on. And who else did we have on? Oh yeah, we did the Draft Tuesday. We had a few Draft Tuesdays. Like I said, with Seven Kingdoms, we had Aaron Sluss on. We had Camden Cruz on the Draft Tuesday, which I was not available to be on, but Chris Carnage basically ran with it, and it was a hell of a Draft Tuesday podcast, and I want to thank Chris for that. Also, I'm trying to think off the top of my head here some more stuff. The Super Radio Brothers came on for Draft Tuesday this year, man. That podcast was exclusively released, the uncut version, on the Patreon, which will be released next year, the beginning when the Podcast City Network launches. It'll be the first episode dropping. It'll be the first time you heard this in public, the uncut version of the Draft Tuesday with the Super Radio Brothers at DeLand City Limits Tap Room. So that I'm excited about that. That was a hell of a time right there with everything going on. I was so glad that Rich and Mark came out and supported the Super Radio Brothers. Ben wasn't able to come, though, but we had 2 out of the 3 Super Radio Brothers, which was awesome. And what else happened this year? A lot of good moments happened. I threw a short video up on the Facebook page, facebook.com/theeverlee. You can check that out. And also, you can see the video version of that. And at the end of this podcast, it will be the audio version. Well, you'll get to hear it. There's moments from when me and McShaft eating anchovies for a certain amount of likes and downloads for a podcast. Also, moments with me, Chris Carnage, ranging from the 50th America edition episode to just craziness, and with McShaft coming in and stuff and different things, just a lot of good stuff. You'll hear the best of moments of 2017 at the end of this podcast. It will end the podcast with that. This is going to be kind of a short podcast, though, but let me just throw this out. Not much going on in the Mirakuru Lounge this week. This will be the last segment for the mid-season finals for the Mirakuru Lounge with Supergirl. I almost slipped off the top of my tongue. Supergirl, The Flash, DC Legend of Tomorrow, and Arrow. So I'm going to talk briefly about the season finals, mid-season finals of those shows here on the short, brief recap during the Mirakuru Lounge segment. Not much going on in wrestling for the in-ring report. I will throw a little tidbit out there, and we will wrap this podcast up with the 2017 moments, best of moments. And then that will be it for this part 1 of episode 68. And be sure to check out part 2 of episode 68 next week, which will be the last podcast released of the year for ELS. I will go on hiatus for Christmas and winter break. Kind of my break. I'm taking a break. I have to do that to stop, relax, rewind, recharge, and then I'll be coming back with new episodes in 2018 in January. So I'll be releasing a date, putting that out there when you can expect new content coming from Everett Lee Show. So we're going to jump right into the Mirakuru Lounge, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get with it.
The Mirakuru Lounge.
This week, we've seen the mid-season finals for Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, The Flash, and Arrow. Pretty damn interesting with these mid-season finals. Out of all these 4 shows from the CW, I'm going to have to say my 2 favorite mid-season finals would have to be top of the list, would have to be The Flash, followed by Supergirl, DC Legends of Tomorrow, and Arrow. I will start. Let me start with Arrow. I don't want no hate on this, but I just feel that with Arrow this season, it's not felt like the last 5 seasons this season here. It's missing something. I feel like it's missing something. I watch it each week because I'm wanting to see what's going to happen, which is good, okay? If I didn't want to see what was going to happen, I wouldn't even watch it. I would have stopped it after season 5. Well, actually, the first few episodes this season, I would have just said, you know what? I'm done with Arrow. Lost interest. I'm moving on. Forget about it, But I keep coming back because I want to see this show do so good, and it's done really, really well. I mean, ever since I watched it from the beginning and watching it now, I'd have to say my favorite season would have to be season 2 with the dynamic with Deathstroke and everything with that villain and how that all turned out and everything and stuff. I thought was really great. Season 3 was a little dark, but season 4, I mean, I'm not going to go into detail about each season, though, but for this season, season 6, I feel like, again, it's suffering from the Supernatural effect. Supernatural, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll briefly say Supernatural, for the first 5 seasons, had this big story arc, and it ended. And then it was like they came back for their 6th season. It was like, okay, where do we go? Where do we go? What are we going to introduce something new? And I feel Arrow is suffering from that because, I mean, from the villain that we have this season, I mean, really? He don't seem like a threat. he don't seem like a threat. That's the whole thing. It's just this villain don't seem like a Damien Dark, a Ra's al Ghul, a Deathstroke, and definitely a Malcolm Merlin. It's just he don't seem like it. And let me not forget Prometheus from last season. It's just this villain. It's like, what is he doing? Where is he going? What's going to happen? Okay, I was asking these questions. I'm like, what the hell's the build-up? We already got that in Flash. We already knew where it was going because it ended up with a big, with the season final. It was like, oh, shoot, man. It's just where it landed in our laps with oh, damn, I have to watch it next season. I have to watch it. Not next season, but when it comes back from mid-season break, I definitely have to watch it. I got to find out. I have to find out what's going to happen. With Arrow, it just didn't really, even from the previews, from what they're going to show when it comes back in January, what they're going to show with the mid-season return. I'm like, really? I feel that, in a way, justifying with Arrow this season, a lot has gone on. Oliver, dealing with being mayor, okay, getting close to Felicity, the Olicity factor. Now, I know I've taken a dump on the Olicity factor, though, but I feel kind of bad for the people who has invested a lot of their time into the Olicity angle with Felicity and Oliver. Now they're together now, okay? They got married. They're together. All right. Everyone that was on that bandwagon is rejoicing now. But I feel bad now. Where are they going to go now? What's going to happen? What else is there to look forward to? That's one thing I'm looking at. Another thing I'm looking at is where, the villains, what's his modem, really? It hasn't really been explained. And then you got the agent, FBI agent, cracking down, trying to bust and take Oliver, okay? Trying to nail him being Green Arrow, so basically she can just throw him underneath the bus and throw him underneath the prison and lock his ass up for good because of him being a vigilante. It's just like all these factors, and then him being a father, trying to raise a son, those dynamics, and then one good thing I could say I'm happy to see and happy to be happy about is the fact that Thea is out of her coma now. She's back. She's trying to, insert herself back into what she was doing before her getting into a coma from the island. All this stuff, man, I'm sitting there, I'm like, really? What the heck is going on? And I did some digging. From comicbook.com. I picked this up here while I was surfing comicbook.com. Good website with some good sources. Apparently from what comicbook.com is reporting that the mid-season final left fans with a lot to take in, particularly when it comes to the villains, like I'm talking about, On the mid-season final, the Team Arrow dismantled down to its original members, which we've seen. Another team was coming together, and the final moments of the mid-season final, Caden James' team revealed itself. While I already knew that Black Siren was working with the super hacker, audience now know that who else is helping James with his plans. The lineup of some very personal connections to Team Arrow over what's left with it. Oliver's formed a friend with, his former friend Brava Buddy. He was there. Diane's ex, Diggler's drug dealer, and of course someone named Boots are working with James. Each villain's having their own personal connections with the team. The breakup of the team Arrow couldn't have come at a worse time, as Echo Kellen, who plays Curtis, Mr. Terrific, said during a set visit earlier this year that Ricardo Diaz is out there and Antonio is out there. Black Siren's out there, so you see kind of all hands on deck. The odds aren't getting any closer to being in the favor of anyone on Team Arrow at this point either, as if the FBI prosecuting Oliver on the myth of, charges streaming from him being Green Arrow wasn't quite enough. They also decided to leverage part of the team, especially with Wild Dog, Renee, to testify against him. Basically, everyone who has a connection with each member is tearing the team apart. That's what they're doing. They're tearing this team apart. They're breaking them up. The team already broke up in season 4 with Damien Dark. He shows up like a bat out of hell and just basically, bam. He tears the damn team apart. At the end of season 4, Oliver was left again. We had the original 3. We had Diggler, Felicity, and Oliver. There's your original Team Arrow. And in season 5, recruiting, doing fresh stuff, Thea walked away because she was done being Speedy. And now it's like it's recruiting again. It's like this time they're bringing in personal touches with what's going on. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, really? Didn't we see this in season 4 already? Or have they run out of ideas? What's going on, man? What's going on? I just hope and wish that when they come back from mid-season, things will start rolling, man. I want to see things roll, man. Get that thing going. I missed that main villain who basically reveals himself, during the mid-season final. You can see tidbits here, seeds sprinkled here and there, here and there. And then our hero basically comes and has to face that villain. He reveals, he or she or the villain reveals themselves in that mid-season final. And they come up and they're like, ha-ha. It's like, I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to take over the world. Ha 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 ha. That classic villain, and the hero is like, oh no. And we're left with a damn cliffhanger. So it's like, damn, we got to wait. Mid-season comes back. Things start rolling, man. Things start rolling. A lot of things happen, and the season ends on a high or a low note, or a cliffhanger, which will carry on into next season. I'm not getting that right now with Arrow. I wish and I hope things pick up when they come back in January, when the mid-season returns. I hope they come back and they get things rolling, because Caden James, I'm looking at him, I'm like, really? This is the best that they can do. I'm hoping and I'm wishing for the best. And so therefore, I hope they bring something in that we did not see, that we're going to be like, oh, damn, I didn't see that coming. I did not see that coming, So, yeah, I'm just waiting for it. Now, DC Legends of Tomorrow. That was interesting. Okay, that was interesting. I thought it was really good fun. This season for Legends, these guys know how to have fun. They know how to get in a situation, punch their way out, and fix everything, and that's it. Because, like they've mentioned on the show, you got a bunch of screw-ups that come together and know how to work together, and they're a family. The mid-season final for Legends, we seen them with the Vikings. That was neat. And a young Henry Stein. I did like how Jax did try to pull out a Back to the Future moment with young Stein to try to maybe save him, but I liked how young Stein basically gave retro perspective into telling Jax, just let me go, man. Let me go. And it's like, now Jax, where does he fit in? He's not Firestorm no more. I mean, that's it. So he's parted ways, and he's walked off into the sunset. He's left the Legends. So he's gone, Wish, that didn't happen that way, though. But what else was there left for Jax, Was he just going to hang around on the Wave Rider and fix it every time something breaks, And of course, you got the Earth X Captain Cold, Citizen Cold now on the ship, which is really good. I'm glad they brought Wentworth Miller back. I'm glad they brought him back. I'm glad everything is turning out the way that it is so far with him just hanging around. It's like fight the good fight, which is good. And I was excited about now that Sarah Lance got a taste on what Malice is and what kind of threat Malice is going to be. Malice is using Damien Dark and his daughter as an instrument, a connection to this world from the dimension that he's in, that she fell into, and got that cold realization that this villain is going to be hell, man. It's going to be hell. I do like the fact that they've brought back, spoiler, that next season when they come back from hiatus, we're going to have John Constantine back, man. I was hoping, and there was rumors and stuff I've been reading for the last year that he may not come back, but that was a 180 right there. It was like, oh shit, John Constantine is back, man. The last time John Constantine had any interaction with Sarah Lance was season 4 of Arrow, when he was brought in by Oliver to restore her soul. That was the last interaction and the last time we really did see anything from Constantine. And it's awesome that he's teaming up with the Legends because of the threat and of what Malice is a demon. You need someone, an expert of the spiritual demon realm, which you got John Constantine, man. Not bad. Awesome. Fit to take on this villain, whoever Malice is going to turn out to be when they come back from the mid-season break. I really did enjoy the episode and everything that fit the holiday Christmas thing. So I was really happy about that. Then we got Supergirl, man. Supergirl. Oh, man. Like I said, I mentioned this to my wife, and I said, Rain is the female version of Doomsday. I loved where they went and how they're doing this so far with Rain, with the character not knowing, having the blackouts, and Rain taking over and causing chaos. We saw that. She basically called out Supergirl. She's going to destroy this world. Supergirl stepped up, and it was a big thing, man. A big thing to see Supergirl actually get her ass handed to her. I was like, are you freaking kidding me, man? Are you kidding me? And the way this episode ended was just a big shock. It left you stunned. I felt I was reading the pages of the Doomsday comic with Superman. That's how I felt. I flashed back to that when I read that, when I first hit the shelves back in the day, man. That's how I felt when I watched Supergirl, with her falling from grace and her, the girl of steel getting whipped. That's something we've not seen. We have not seen her take a beating like that. I mean, the last 2 seasons, we've seen stuff happen where basically her demeanor gets, taken down, but her actually getting, taken out temporarily. Damn, man. That moment when she's falling off the building after beaten, bruised, and her symbol basically burnt off her chest. Rain is here to take over and basically stop and take out anyone that gets in her way, man. And again, reporting from comicbook.com. The mid-season final of Supergirl was given audience the first look about the world killer Reign in action as she made her presence known to Supergirl in all national city. However, the episode closed with a huge cliffhanger with some questions that still need to be answered, okay? In the episode, Samantha stepped out for the first time as Reign and proved herself to be an incredible, forcible opponent for Supergirl. Mon-El and Saturn Girl, tried to explain how they ended up in National City, which they're from the future. I'm just going to say this. I mentioned this when I was watching it with my wife. They know what's going to happen, okay? Mon-El had to look and see what happened when he was in the 31st century. He had to look back and see what was going to happen and how he knows how Kara's going to stop Reign. He knows, but it's just he can probably intervene, but not. But what I'm thinking is they were talking about the darkness, still there. Did Kara die? Did Supergirl die by the hands of Reign? Because the way Saturn Girl was talking, Imra, the way she was talking, it was like, it's so finally good to meet you. I've heard all these stories. It's like, is Kara dead in the future? Did Reign defeat her? Because from the trailer, from the previews, when they come back from mid-season, it looks like the League of Superheroes are stepping in, man. It looks like they're going to be stepping in, and the future may be changed if they go that route, and the Super Friends team up and take out Reign. That's what's going to happen. That's what they're going to need, man. That is what they're going to need, I mean, the Legion of Superheroes, they're coming, man. They are coming, and what a hell of a time for some good alliance backup for Kara against Reign, And if things weren't enough, what was going on, the cult leader, Thomas Coven, remember him from the cult of Kara, had the cult of Supergirl, basically gave information about Reign that wasn't archived in the Kryptonian, archives, that was from the archives which wasn't mentioned about Raw, But even these things packed into the hour, as goes in the winter hiatus, there's 5 questions going to be puzzling people over the show until when January comes. One thing is where is the rest of the Legion of Superheroes, which is pretty obvious. They're in the ship. That's where they're at. That is basically where they're at. And I don't know why comicbook.com's put that up. There's a lot of questions and a lot of fan theory stuff, but how will Kara defeat Reign? How will this happen? We'll just have to wait and see when it comes back in January. And finally, man, I have to say that the top thing that surprised me was The Flash. Oh my God, didn't see the twist and stuff. What Supergirl pulled out on their mid-season final and what The Flash did, that right there makes me want to hang on to the seat, and it's I can't wait for January to get here, especially with the Podcast City Network. See how I did that? Can't wait for January to get here because I want to see what's going to happen with these shows when they return. Flash, man. We seen Barry, he got captured by DeVoe, and DeVoe put him in a prison, which he eventually did escape. We seen Caitlin helping out the one guy who can read telepathic, minds, and her arch nemesis basically had her capture. Iris had to make a call, say Barry or Caitlin, and she made a call to save Caitlin because she knows her man can take care of herself. That's right, sister. But I had to throw that out there. So, with that right there, okay, Barry gets away from DeVoe, okay, and DeVoe, it's he had his master plan was revealed all this time. with the Brainstorm, we'll call him Brainstorm. With Brainstorm being helped out, by Caitlin and getting free, and with the team celebrating the holidays there, that last part, man, when Brainstorm called Barry and explained everything that was happening and set Barry up for murder for killing DeVoe. His body, his mind transferred into this. The whole plan, which was awesome. DeVoe had a plan. The reason why he knew that bus was going to be there, that's where Barry was going to come out of the Speed Force. Dark matter was affecting people. The reason why he was so interested in everyone on that bus was he was looking for the perfect person to transfer his mind into that body, because his old body was dying because of what happened with him years ago, getting affected by the particle accelerator, which basically enhanced his mind, and then his body getting drained of his life force because his mind's so powerful. That right there was a damn twist. And Barry getting set up for murder, oh my God. Barry had the choice. He could have ran, but he decided not to. He's going to face this. And we know from last season that eventually, DeVoe's going to get defeated. But think about this. Look how dangerous DeVoe is now. He's in this metahuman's body now that has that ability to read people's minds, and he's the smartest. He is more dangerous than what he was before when he was introduced. He is way dangerous now. He is going to be a big threat. And now how is Barry Allen and Team Flash going to stop DeVoe? That's one thing you got to look at right there. How is he going to stop him now? He's in the jailhouse there, for murder. He's being taken out of the picture in a way that we didn't expect. This villain right here, this is going to be one of the best villains besides not being a speedster, okay, on The Flash. You can't... The writing, they've done awesome. My hat's off to the writers for what they've done with The Flash. I can't wait for it to come back to see how they're going to clear Barry's name and take out DeVoe and create that thing that was mentioned last season by the carbon copy of Barry, who was Savitar, who mentioned that. He was from the future. He knew how to defeat DeVoe and everything. It's gonna be great, man. It is going to be great. So there you have it, the mid-season recaps. Man, everything will be coming back January, February with these shows, and the Mirakuru Lounge for the time being will be on hiatus too until when we come back in January, and I will be talking about this. Anything I come across and stuff, I'll be tweeting it and putting it out there on the Facebook page. But pretty amazing, man. Can't wait for January. Mirakuru Lounge segment will be back in January. Or, we'll be back covering some things on your favorite CW shows of Supergirl, The Flash, DC Legend of Tomorrow, and Arrow. Covering the Arrowverse for you. And that's it. Gonna take a quick break. When I come back, we're gonna jump into a brief in-ring report, and we're gonna end the podcast with the 2017 moments of ELS. So stay tuned. Are you a fan of ELS and Chris Carnage? Well, you can show your support with the latest ELS and Chris Carnage swag. Head over to everettleeshow.weebly.com and click on the merch tab to get your ELS and Chris Carnage t-shirts. Look for special promo codes when available, such as percentage off and free shipping when you buy an ELS or Chris Carnage swag. Head over to everettleeshow.weebly.com and click on the merch tab to get your ELS and Chris Carnage t-shirts. 1, 2, 3! Not much going on for the in-ring report for this week with wrestling. I've been preoccupied. I'm going to throw this up front. I've been preoccupied with the holiday season, getting everything ready with the Podcast City Network, to going through clips and episodes for the best of moments of 2017, which you will hear at the end of this podcast. Again, I been watching wrestling. I watched Ring of Honor this week, and it was from when Ring of Honor was down here in Florida at Lakeland. That they showed footage from that. They had a opening match with Hangman Page, Adam Page versus Flip Gordon. Excellent match. It was awesome. There's a reason why they call him Flip Gordon, man. Both performed and did awesome with what they did and what they brought to the ring, which I'm happy about and I loved. It was a good, solid match. A lot of good spots in it with Flip Gordon doing flips. No pun intended. But I enjoyed it. And then they showed the tag team title match from Fort Lauderdale, which I was in attendance at a few weeks ago, back almost a month ago. Yeah, I was there in the crowd watching the Motor City Machine Guns. I'm probably getting this wrong. Going up against the Kingdom, which was a hell of a match. Seeing that live was awesome. And they showed that recording from the ROH Elite on demand, where you can watch the match. You can actually go on there. I believe you can watch the whole Fort Lauderdale show, which I was in attendance at, man. Awesome, good match, good, recap, building up for Final Battle. Final Battle is sold out, which will be on pay-per-view December 15th. And they've done really good with what they've done with ROH. I was laughing because I was listening to Sam Roberts' podcast last night, and he was talking about in his State of Wrestling, talking about ROH and stuff, how Final Battle's not been promoted and everything and stuff, and it should be more promoted than what was going on with the announcement of Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks wanting to do a big arena all in for sometime next year, feeling that's taken away from Final Battle. Okay, let me just point out, Final Battle, it's sold out. Okay, people who follow Ring of Honor, ROH, they're invested in it. They know about the pay-per-view. Okay, they're in the loop. Unlike Sam Roberts, who's in the loop, but he's more of a WWE guy. I get that. He's more of a WWE guy. He does, cover and talk about ROH, and he's interviewed people like Dalton Castle before, ROH people. I know that, but he's more of a WWE guy. If you get this perspective of his perspective of being a WWE guy covering more WWE. If you're more into loop of Ring of Honor, then you know what's going on. It's like he looks at the promotion. His point of view. I get his point of view. I'm not knocking the guy. I get his point of view, but in his point of view, he feels that Final Battle should be promoted like how WWE promotes their pay-per-views. Okay, Ring of Honor, I would say, yeah, they're like the number 2 or number 3, whatever. They're in the top 3 of like wrestling promotions in the world, where they're at and everything. And I feel that with people who's in the loop and stuff, they know and keep up with ROH and keep up with how big indie wrestling is now. Okay, there's no need for some big, explosion of promotion for it. Okay. They've been promoting it. You watch ROH TV, they've been promoting it for the last month. The event's sold out. There you go, man. That's it, man. You tune in and get ready for it. And Dalton Castle's been showing video and stuff and everything on social media, him training for his title match against Cody. Okay? Cody's prepared, and Dalton's going to tear it up in that heavyweight title match. It's going to be a match. what promoting do you need? I mean, they've been going back and forth on ROH TV. That right there is what they're using to promote this pay-per-view, and with social media. So you're in the loop, you get it, you see it, you know it. There you go. That's it right there. But I know WWE went over to, they did a live event on the 8th over in Dubai over there. And what I thought was interesting was that they had a match. There was a match with Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks. And under the Islamic rules, women are not supposed to be they're supposed to be covered up, their bodies. So therefore, Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks went out there with these bodysuits covering up their bodies, but I liked how they made them fit who their characters are, which was really neat. I liked Alexa Bliss's and Sasha Banks. And there is it was pretty good. It's all over, you can check out clips and pictures on Twitter of the live event and everything, and the superstars, WWE superstars like Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks' Instagram. You could get to see stuff on there and people who was involved in the event. So I guess it went pretty well. I'm assuming it went well. But not much going on. It looks like Matt Hardy, everyone's been talking about. Matt Hardy is awoken. It's another extension of his, it's the broken character, okay? But it's the awoken character. It's the broken Matt Hardy gimmick, You keep up with it, you know it, yeah. And he's going up, I guess, feud with Bray Wyatt. All I got to say is, weeks to come, look at the promos these two are going to throw at each other. And this past Monday night on Raw was an example of it. Bray Wyatt cutting promo on awoken Matt Hardy, and awoken Matt Hardy, basically the broken Matt Hardy, cutting promo on Bray. So therefore, it's going to be hell of freaking build-up, and it's going to be a hell of promos going back and forth between these two before they have a match. I'm looking forward to it. It's exciting, and I can't wait. Okay, I can't wait to see where this goes and how this is going to go. And I agree with a lot of people. Yes, this will elevate Bray Wyatt to a place where we have not seen him yet. And it's going to be great, man. This is going to be a great opponent and a great person to go up against Bray Wyatt, the broken Matt Hardy. And what else is going on? There's, I was listening, well, actually, I'm reading right here. Clash of Champions is coming up. We got that coming out on I believe it's on the 17th. Let me pull up the calendar right here. Yep. And 2 weeks, we got on the 17th, we got the Clash of Champions. We got that pay-per-view, the last pay-per-view of the year for WWE. SmackDown hosting Clash of Champions, closing out the year. And then we come back in January for the Royal Rumble, which will be both Raw and SmackDown. And all I got to say is Raw right now, I know they don't got no pay-per-views or anything, no, but they got a chance right now to build stuff for the Royal Rumble. Man, they got a chance to build some stories that will lead into the Royal Rumble. They got a lot going on and a lot they can build, and which hopefully the damn writers and creative will give us something, and not something like a week or 2 weeks before the damn pay-per-view in January for the Royal Rumble. So I'm already going to throw this out here. I believe I'm going to have to go with Shinsuke Nakamura winning the Royal Rumble. I feel if he wins it, we're going to get that AJ versus Shinsuke Nakamura at WrestleMania, which everyone's talking about, everyone wants to see, and I hope they pull the trigger on it and say, go with it. I believe that's about it. That's all I have for this week. Not much going on. Like I said, been occupied with other things, though, but I wanted to throw that out there for the in-ring report for this week. So, gonna take another pause, come back, and we're gonna wrap up this podcast with the 2017 moments. Stay connected with ELS, the Everett Lee Show podcast on the following platforms. everettleeshow.weebly.com, the official website of the Everett Lee Show. Facebook.com/the Everett Lee. Click the like button, click the follow button for the latest notifications. Twitter @the Everett _Lee for the latest tweets, the latest podcast links on Twitter. Stay connected with these platforms of the Everett Lee Show ELS podcast.
Do it! Just do it! No, what are you waiting for? Do it!
Want more ELS? The Everett Lee Show podcast is available at the following. Download the audio version of this podcast and previous podcast at everettleeshow.libsyn.com, stitcher.com, Everett Lee Show. Leave us a rating and a comment in the comments section. iTunes. Subscribe to ELS, the Everett Lee Show on iTunes. Give us a rating and a comment. For the video version of this podcast and previous podcasts, visit youtube.com, Everett Lee Show. For interview segments, visit dailymotion.com/Everett Lee Show.
Just do it! Yes, you can! Just do it!
ELS, the Everett Lee Show is your shot of entertainment to the head.
You're listening to The Everett Lee Show.
Two days I went through clips, episodes, looking at stuff, remembering stuff, laughing, enjoying a lot of episodes, a lot of moments, man. There were so many moments this year for Everett Lee Show. Going, looking through starting from episode 34 to episode 67. I compiled a best of clips here that you're going to hear on this audio version of the podcast. You can watch the video version of it on facebook.com/the Everett Lee. Swing by there and check out the video version of this 2017 moments. Without further ado, here you go, man. The moments of 2017 right here of ELS, the Everett Lee Show. Well, there we go. If I hit unmute on my mic, I could probably talk. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Everett Lee Show podcast.
This is what I like to call my dirty, inappropriate curse word counter, or my dick. Okay? Say that? Yeah, my dick. Okay? Dirty, inappropriate curse word counter. So I'm going to keep track. So I'm going to keep track of all the foul language we use here. And, we're just going to have a little fun with this here tonight, So, I'm going to, play with my dick here all night while we're on the air and see what happens.
Oh, snap!
Yeah, like that?
We've done gone there. We're only like 5 minutes in.
Carnage, you see my dick?
I wish I did.
It's a green one.
Big Shaft's been bugging me about this. Bugging us. Chris, you've been cool about it.
It's only because I'm not there sitting next to you.
You fell for me, no
Yeah, he wants to come sit next to me and my dick. That's what it is, right, Chris?
Anything happens on the Everett Lee Show. Anything happens. So let's try out these anchovies. Oh, man, you got it coming. That's spewed all over. You look at this. Look at this. Oh, my God.
Here we go.
Oh, man. Now it's my go. Let's go ahead and get one of these here. Oh. Johnny Knockout. How you doing?
I'm up, baby. My testosterone levels are up because I'm going to kick the shit out of some guy in just a day's time.
Yeah. I felt that same way today while driving down the road.
Welcome to the Everett Lee Show podcast.
Woo.
I am Everett Lee, and I'm joined here with Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt.
You forgot to bring the dick chart. Here we go, right here.
They got me.
I had to
You like that? You like that? Yeah.
I know Chris is
Just
looking at
hot
that.
damn.
Oh my god. Oh my god, it's blown up. You can follow Everett Lee on Twitter at the Everett_Lee. Facebook.com/the Everett Lee. Again, make sure you click that thumbs up. Also, the official website of the Everett Lee Show, everettleeshow.weebly.com, the official website. I'm waiting for my co-host, and what the heck? Who is that?
It's your one and only Chris Garden.
Yeah! That's right, man.
This superstar posted pics of them getting married, or these two are a face and a heel, but they're interacting like friends on social media. You know what? It just grinds me. You know what? It's just time for the next segment.
It's time for the next segment. Where are you going, man? So, Mr. Carnage, Chris, you're at WrestleMania. So how's the excitement there at WrestleMania, Chris?
I'll tell you what, the excitement's really amazing down here. You know, we've got about 107,000 people that are down here. It's going to be an amazing time. We got so many matches lined up. Hopefully Roman Reigns will lose the title or win the title. I don't know what's going on. I've been drinking so much since about 2 o'clock this morning. I don't know what to do.
Uh-oh. Where you at, Chris? You're punching the wall down.
Sweep it out of here.
Uh-oh.
No.
Uh-oh. What are you doing?
Force powers.
Where'd you go?
I'm hiding. Oh, my head.
Uh-oh. Let's open up the Book of Carnage. Today in the Book of Carnage.
Chapter 1. Kiss my ass. This reminds me of this Randy Orton vine. There it is! There's Randy Orton running! Randy Orton's doing the running man.
What's he doing now, Chris?
Having a seizure? I'm not sure. Now he's making pound cake? Oh, he went the wrong way.
Okay, I hope everyone's ready for this.
Yep. There we go.
This is great. I'm just here enjoying a nice, refreshing Monster Energy drink. The only drink that intensifies you like a monster. Thousands of people aimed their video cameras and equipment at the skies yesterday as the eclipse made its way across the United States.
Watch.
And they were offended by what they saw. You know what those are, right?
Right there. What are those?
Those are drones. They're drones.
They're not drones. I don't think they're drones. It's
How do you-
something, but it's not no damn
How do you know it's not a
space
drone?
station. What?
How do you know it's not a drone? Drones can go straight up and they can stay level.
Do they
like that in the
flash
sky.
like that?
Yes. They have lights on them. They flash.
Well, look right there. Look
yeah,
at
those are drones.
that. Those are drones.
Those are drones.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Are you sure those are drones?
Drones can stay level in the sky like that. They have lights on them to flash.
Uh-huh.
Those are drones.
Those are drones.
Yeah.
Those are freaking drones right there.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Pretty positive those are drones. I mean, look at it.
Pretty
Those are drones.
positive?
Yeah.
You're pretty positive.
I mean, I wasn't physically there, but I mean, have you ever seen people flying drones in the air? That's exactly what they do.
I'm not going on. I'm not going anymore with this with you, okay? I'm sticking to my opinion, you stick to your opinion.
Okay, here's a photo of the International Space Station. Okay, see? There it is.
Yeah.
Okay? And then there's what they saw in front of it.
It looks like a zit. Oh.
International Space Station right there.
Okay.
See?
You believe that, and you believe what you want to believe. I'm going to believe what I want to believe. All right? Done. Because nowadays, you know, the butthurt generation, oh, they don't look like real snowmen.
I'm offended. Let's boycott the show.
Yeah, that's not... Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
An inanimate object hurt my feelings.
I know. Yeah. Snow hurts me. Okay.
I also call this generation the ass jackal generation.
Ass jackal. The founder.
Could you imagine all his like dialogue in the movie being in the Batman voice?
Now let me try to convince you to buy this 5 milkshake machine. So you say you make your hamburgers in 30 seconds.
Would you like to talk to the owner of McDonald's, sir?
Where is he? Where is he?
Done. That's it.
Well, that's enough of the internet for today. All right.
Damn. Yeah, that's it. Okay. I hope you enjoyed part 1 of 2017 Moments. Part 2 coming at you Friday, December 15th. Part 2 will be the last podcast of 2017 of ELS. I'm going on hiatus. I will be back in January on a date in 2018. Also, the Podcast City Network. Be sure to check that out on 2018, man. January 2018. Next year, we're going to have the Everett Lee Show. We're going to have ELS Uncut, Podcast City Network exclusive right there. Also, another Podcast City Network exclusive, Films a Classic. 2 original programs coming to you in 2018 on the network. Also, we got the Super Radio Brothers podcast joining in on the network, and we got the Chris Carnage Show with the Imaginarium podcast coming. All this coming in 2018 on the Podcast City Network. And also be sure to check out part 2 for interviews. Gonna talk about some clips together, compile some segments with guests I've had this year for part 2, which will be coming to you Friday, December 15th. If anything changes, I will let you know on social media. And speaking of social media, you can follow me at the Everett Lee on Twitter, Facebook.com/the Everett Lee. Click the like button, click the notifications when I post stuff on there. And the official website of the Everett Lee Show, everettleeshow.weebly.com. So be sure to check that out right there for your social media contacts. Thank you for downloading. Thank you for listening. And we'll see you next week for part 2 of the Everett Lee Show.